Welcome back. All right, it's been a couple weeks. Had some bronchitis, had a holiday. It's just been a mess. Family over, so I didn't get much work done the last couple weeks, but I'm back at it. You can see I've got a couple more weeks of beard growth going. But I did get the closed cell installed, and you can see it here. Looks good. Matted it up against what was previously on the transmission tunnel. I didn't pull all that off because I did not want to go through the trouble of moving all this wiring and just getting it out of there. So I'm going to risk that. But again, it looks great. I just did some basic cutting. Get some lights on that. Just basic cutting and fitting just to squeeze it in, just cover it where I needed to cover it. It's got that all in there. See more rest on my foot. That's your foot pad. I'm trying to figure out if I can get to that from the back side and just clean it, take the rust off, and then bolt the foot pad on there. I really like that foot pad. I don't know if you guys do too, or you gals as well. I really like the foot pad, and I rest my foot there almost always when I was driving. And once I broke it and it was kind of hanging off to the edge, you know, it kind of leans in. Real disappointed in that. So okay, so an additional problem and issue I wanted to get sorted out. I needed to, I want to replace talked about that earlier. I want to get the covers on the seats replaced. So tempted to move the seats, and as you normally, if you're paying attention, these the bolts go in here through the rail of the seat. If you can't move the seats, you can't take the seat out. So I had this attempting to move it, and as I moved the seat switch, only the mirrors moved. Over here, only the mirrors moved. That was really weird. So I read online about that, and sure enough, that means my seat box failed. So I got with Matt Gom on the internet, and I ordered another one. So got one, and have installed it, and I've removed my seat. So I've got my seat hanging out back here. I'm gonna get it out of the vehicle. I can get that one out now too. So that's good. Kind of fun. You know, I have my shop chair, and one of my shop chairs from way back in the day when I swapped the seats the last time. Guess what was on the bottom of that swap on that chair? Yep, a good seat switch box. So I didn't really need one. So I've got a spare now, so that'll work out. But you can see how it's installed. Let me get this flipped over. Basically what I did is I took this chair out of my Range Rover, and I bought complete seats because the leather on them were cheaper than buying a whole seat and having it covered. So I just bought the whole seats back when Rover Cannibal was still in business. And that was kind of different. So anyway, they matched, and I wore them until they wore all the way through. So whatever. Okay, but there it is. That's how it's installed. It's underneath here. There's a couple of zip ties, attaches it here. There's 1, 2, 3. I think there's 4 plugs on it. This little switch right here goes up in there, and you twist it 90 degrees. Other than that, that's how it comes out. It's hard to get out if you can't move your seats. You're always dropped to the deck. You're trying to get up underneath there. You're going to get scratches on your hands. Mine's just now starting to heal. So, but yeah, you can do it if you want to. Bad enough. So, got that all pulled out. Pulled out my ABS computer. Well, did I put it back in the truck? Oh, I did. So I cleaned up the box on the ABS computer. There is a fault in that system. I'm not sure where it is. That's why this is what you use this little blue plug for right here with the jumper, and then you count the lights on the dash or some silliness. I haven't done it yet. So, but again, that's another thing for another day, as they say. But that's basically it for now. It's about the progress I've made. 1 job down, 2 jobs to go. Seems like everything is an extra job every time. Took the skin off the door card off of my driver's side rear. When I was doing the switch, when I was lifting the lever from the outside, it wouldn't open. It would just sit there, and then I had to kick it right here, and I bump it, it would come open. So I took it, I got this all taken out, and I went and I gave that little screw in there, the little rod, 1.5 turns. That's all it took. 1.5 turns, and now I can open and close the back door. I'm happy about that. I got to put it back together. About half of me says don't put it back together. Go ahead and get door actuators, because these are old and tired, and you're gonna have to go through the whole vehicle anyway and put door actuators in. So when we talk about working on an old car, it can be any old car, I guess, in the days, you start talking about working on these things, and one job turns into two, and two jobs turns into four, and it's just a constant pattern of restoration and repair, more and more and more and more. And so it's the case every time I touch my Range Rover. Every time I touch it, I gotta abate rust somehow. I'm sitting here looking at a hole back here that's rusting in the wheel well, that was covered at one time with rubber and such. So every time you get in it, you got to take care of it. Every bolt you pull off is going to be rusted all the crap. Where did I put those? Yeah, so those are the aluminum sills, and they just, they go through a rubber grommet through the steel, and water splashes up from the bottom, and man, they just turn to rust in the middle very quickly. But everything is one job starts to be two jobs, starts to be three jobs, starts to be four jobs. But the idea is you just keep going, right? You just keep plugging away until you get it all done. So I think I told you I've got the box back in the car. So the heater box is back in its place. I haven't got anything hooked up yet. I'm not ready to do all of that. When we talked about one job, two job, three job, see, I already forgot to put this little rubber bit on the back firewall. So I've got to start over and pull the box back out, and this is perished. It's really kind of crappy. I'm probably going to get a couple of these thicknesses of this closed cell neoprene and butt them up together and stick and make a new one. But again, I put it back together, and now I got to take it back apart. So that's always seems like the case for me too. I learn more about taking it apart and putting it back together because you do it so many times because you did it wrong the first time. So got the other side over there all nice and clean. You can see that all installed. That looks great. Very happy about that. So got a little bit of that going on. About it. I think that's everything for now. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you following on the channel, and I hope this is helpful for somebody out there who's working on their Range Rover like I am and trying to keep these bad boys on the road. One day I want to do a vehicle walk around so I can show you all the stuff I have in my truck. At one time I made a list. It was like almost 200 items. If you really think about every single little tiny item you put in a truck, from fingernail clippers to screwdrivers. There's everything in the truck. Knives and lights and switches, everything. There's all kinds of stuff in the truck. So you got to get that in there. Got some D-rings. I want to put the D-rings on the back floor body so that I can bolt all my stuff down so it doesn't move around. I had some dream about putting in a drawer system back here to sleep on the passenger side, 2/3 side. It would fit nicely against this my toolbox, and I have a camp kitchen that goes on top of this. It's the same box. It's just my camp kitchen, so I set it on the top of that. But when I'm driving, I don't have anything holding that stuff down, so that's why I want the D-rings. I need to get the D-rings in there. But the idea is like, okay, so where do I mount that? Here's my spare tire. It's inside the truck. I don't want it inside the truck. I want it outside the truck. So what do we got to do there? We either toss it up on top on the roof rack, which isn't a terrible idea because I don't really use that very much. Puts my fuel cans up there and such. But I'm getting older, and pulling a 70-pound tire off a roof to change it on the side of the road is probably a terrible idea. You know, it'll work once. I can get it up there if I don't break a window or something doing it. But how do you get it off safely? You can't drop it. You're on the side of the highway, kill somebody. So I'm going to have to get a bumper. Bottom line. If I want that out of their vehicle, I have to get a bumper to put it on. So I've got some ideas in my head about that, but what did we just say? 1 job, 2 job, 4 job? Pretty much. Anyway, thank you again. It's turned into December, but we're having a really mild winter right now, so it's not cold. It's actually a little sweaty in here today. It's in the 70s, but the sun's beating down on my tin box, so it's very comfortable to be working in here today. But I'll check back in when I get more done. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.